Let's move on now. Nick Rushes is here again with a look at what the international papers are saying this morning.
Hi to you, Tom. And let's go right away to the front page of the Independent newspaper, which has a great headline, The Heir Apparent, talking, of course, about Donald Trump. He emerged as the winner, didn't he, Super Tuesday, and the press continues its more or less blanket coverage of him. Now, the Independent this Thursday is saying, we're now looking at a Trump presidency as a serious prospect. Clinton, yes, is a favorite to become the president, but the paper is arguing the polarization of the electorate now means a close race is likely. It argues that the Republican establishment will now be Trump's toughest enemy yet.
And the LA Times has the message, Stop Trump, in its editorial.
Well, we're seeing this more and more in the press in Europe and in America, very much blanket opposition to him. The LA Times there, you can see, saying in no uncertain terms that Donald Trump is not fit to be president of the United States. Now, it lambasts millions of GOP primary voters for taking, and I quote, leave of their senses. What are you doing? He is a racist, they say, a bully. He has no experience in government. He's proposed targeting the families of terrorists, and that would be a war crime. Would US soldiers actually carry out such an order? No, is the verdict of a former CIA director. So LA Times saying what a lot of the papers are saying, he's off the map, it's not credible. Let's go to USA Today, which is had this great headline here, which you don't necessarily see in the American papers, President Trump, mais non. So USA Today, why is it saying this? It's saying that, well, in Europe, we've seen far-right groups, Golden Dawn. We've seen the Sweden Democrats, which began as white supremacists. We've seen Austria's Freedom Party, Marine Le Pen in France, the far right gaining ground, but not gaining power as such, not really gaining a permanent control of government. That's the argument here. It's saying that, it points out that Jean-Marie Le Pen last week tweeted, yes, I would vote for Donald Trump, may God protect him. So this piece is really arguing that the far-right trend we've seen already in Europe has arrived in the States, and American voters must not flirt with this. They must not let it go any further. There has to be a ceiling to this. And that's the message with the USA Today.
We shouldn't forget, of course, there's a long road to the White House still ahead before we get to November. Let's move on then, Nick, to one French minister who's making waves with comments about the UK Brexit.
Well, this is the economy minister here in France, Emmanuel Macron, who has said, well, two things, actually. The first thing is that France would relocate its Calais migrant camp to the United Kingdom. Of course, there you can see the headline. That is a warning to the UK. Now, that echoes comments by Cameron a few weeks ago that this would happen. He was accused of scaremongering, saying that he was talking up the migrants' threat to UK voters. Macron there speaking ahead of a mini UK-France summit this Thursday. Macron also saying, echoing Cameron's words of when was it, last year, about rolling out the red carpet. Macron is saying that France would roll out the red carpet to bankers wanting to leave London. So Macron there really going full on two separate dossiers, really fueling the whole Brexit turmoil that we're seeing at the moment in the UK. For a sample of just what's going in terms of the debate in the UK itself, let's look at this cartoon. The whole Brexit referendum on the 23rd of June is supposed to actually sort out the Tory rank and file and the Tory ministers and put them in order. And what we have at this point is total mayhem. The cartoon there sort of really making reference to the Six Nations rugby match. So tackling below the belt or whatever is continuing. Clarity, I guess, will be the 24th of June, we hope. Let's go to another story out there, which is I found fascinating, was this idea of giving refugees a chance to take part in the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. That's been covered in several papers. And it's believed 5 to 10 athletes will be selected eventually to take part, and they will perform under the Olympic flag. If they win a gold medal, there'll be an Olympic anthem for them to be played. The Washington Post has covered this in the recent days, looking at various contenders. 43 contenders will be identified to go to Rio. But the Washington Post there saying that one of the helps that they've been given various people, various refugees, is an Olympic Solidarity Scholarship, which has gone to certain people. So a good news story out there about the migrant crisis. You don't see that very often.
We don't indeed. Thank you very much, Nick, for that spin through the international press for us.